We really should come up with a name
Someday.
instead of cinephiles. We could be cinephilatio.
No.
They're gonna go ahead and start us off with some honorable mentions because I gotta pull mine up. I am unprepared.
My number 10, or did you say honorable mentions?
Yeah.
Okay. I got a few. Mank with Gary Oldman. It's a black and white
Did you
movie.
see that?
It's Gary Oldman, Amanda Seyfried,
Who's incredible, and I think
who is
she's my favorite part of it.
amazing.
Wow. I haven't seen her in a long time.
Yeah, it's direct. Let me see who directed it. Very cool. Very like almost
David Fincher.
David Fincher.
Yeah.
Very almost like very easily could have been a silent movie. Very much got that feel.
It was in the vein of I don't think it's a silent movie at all. It
No,
just
no,
has
I'm
the
saying-
old classic black
that's
and
what I'm
white
saying,
look.
it has, like,
That's
a
what I mean.
It
classic-
has that vibe.
Yeah.
You could see it being that.
That's what I meant. Like it's
Yeah.
it doesn't. It's not a silent movie. That one was very cool.
That'd be cool.
Sea Fever. We watched this early on in the year.
Yeah.
I love monster movies. It's a very cool monster movie. And then, I mean, there's nothing really to talk about with that one. It's just a very cool movie, worth a watch. Cool, like monster thriller. And then, I don't necessarily want to say the whole movie, but Devil All the Time. Specifically, Robert Pattinson's performance. It's worth it to just see that. It looked so fun to do that. Just that part.
I don't know. Fun would be a good that was a disgusting part.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
He
That's
was
what I'm saying. That looks like
he was great in it.
not
He's
fun
correct.
like to do,
Like I want to be a rapey preacher.
but I'm saying that looks like it would be a fun role to play. Like you have a lot to chew on.
Yep. Well,
Stop twisting this to make me sound like an asshole.
I don't think he's twisting anything. I think it's just kind of coming out that way.
Well, scratch it. You know what? No, don't scratch it. I stand by my statement.
I actually hated that movie so much. Like it was miserable. But anyways, we're talking about good movies.
Okay.
Do you have any more honorable? Hold on, stroking out. Honorable mentions? Any more? I have quite a bit. So I want to mention some documentaries because all of my top 10 are going to be narrative features. Not that there weren't fantastic documentaries this year, they just didn't quite make my top 10. Totally Under Control is a damning portrait on the Trump administration and the failures and what they caused or what they didn't help during the pandemic and every mistake they made and continued to make and all the lies they told. It paints a pretty negative light on Trump, which I think he does himself.
That's accurate.
The liberal fake news every time.
And I think that I think if you watch it now, especially after what happened at the Capitol this past weekend, it's going to hold a lot more depth.
Yeah.
Dick Johnson is Dead is another great,
good
very, very, very unique Netflix documentary. I've never seen anything like it. Dark humor, deals with death, dementia, a lot of things. So really quickly, I'm going to just mention some good movies. I'm not going to talk about them. Both the Taylor Swift documentaries, Fight Me, The High Note, Benjamin, You Bastard, The Photograph, Spontaneous, Palm Springs, Love and Monsters, The Trial of the Chicago 7, and Wonder Darkly. All were really close to my top 10, but didn't quite make the cut.
So many of those are in my top 10.
Yeah, As
Yeah.
honorable mentions, questionable.
Yeah.
Well, I've
Definitely
seen
questionable.
150 more movies than you.
That's true. But again, still questionable.
So I'm going to just preface this. So in my top 10, there are 2 movies that have not technically been released to a wide audience in
Right, because we saw them at
2020.
the
We saw them at a film festival, or a couple film festivals, but they technically did have a week release in December. All of them did. So I'm still going to go ahead and count them for a 2020 release.
Boo.
And everyone else did. But let's start with
Boo.
top 10. Logan, you want to start?
Yeah. My number 10, Yes, God, Yes.
I love this movie.
It's so good. Have you seen this?
Mm-mm.
So it's about this Catholic schoolgirl, and she it's about like adolescence and religion and sex, and it's great. I love it's so much a social commentary on religion, which is great,
especially in the 2000s.
especially in the 2000s.
So is it
internet
like
era.
a coming of age type thing
So
as well?
she goes
sounds
to
like?
camp, and everyone's like started rumors about her that she did this or she did that, and she's a virgin, and then because of this, she starts to like delve into stuff and.
So this is very much a little time capsule movie.
Oh, yeah.
She is, she's, like you said, he's a Catholic schoolgirl. She's told her whole life that sex is bad and like it's for marriage. And she gets in an online chat room and some guy starts his like, it's like the old version of sexting in the
Right.
AOL chat room.
Right.
And so she starts experimenting like with masturbation and stuff like that. But it's not in like a damning sort of way that it looks at it. It like treats
Right.
like you're like how you should explore your body and stuff like that, and like paints
the
it in a
normal
positive
thing
light.
that it is.
Yeah. So I think that was pretty cool. And Natalia Dyer's great.
Yeah, she was great. Like I said, it's a fun little movie, really kind of refreshing. Just like I don't know, I really enjoyed it.
It's actually based on a short that the director made previously.
Oh, really?
With Natalia
I
Dyer.
did not know that. Anyway, so that's my number 10. Yes, Godnet. Yes.
It's a breezy little movie.
It
too.
is.
It's just a quick watch.
Mm-hmm.
Was it actually quick or just paced really well?
Both.
Both.
It was a short movie. I think it was under 90 minutes.
Oh wow, yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, the pacing is. There's a few times where it drags, but I think it's meant to because it's like them talking about God and stuff at church camp, and so it kind of has to drag just because it's meant to feel like that.
Yeah.
It's only 78 minutes. So.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Super short.
Yeah, that's
there's
very
a scene towards the end. There's at a bar that I don't want to spoil it.
Yeah.
Because it's my favorite, one of my favorite
It's
scenes
great.
of the year. My number 10 is Let Him Go. I love this movie a lot more than Logan did, but I loved this movie. So it is very much like a neo-Western.
Okay.
And it has Kevin Costner, who
Sounds like something he'd do.
yeah, well, and he's made like a new like he's come back recently. He's had his own little Kevin Costner renaissance,
Whack.
making these
That
like
was whack.
gruff, tough characters. But he is different than say Mel Gibson or Steven Seagal being the tough guy because he can act, and so there's a lot going on like when he's not saying anything. This is 100% Diane Lane's movie. She's incredible. Their chemistry is incredible. There's so much showing and not telling, and it's just it reminds me of old John Ford movies from the 70s, like Clint Eastwood movies where there's not a lot being said, but there's so much going on. It was refreshing to see a movie like this. They don't get made anymore. It's randomly violent and horrific, and it was just so tense. I felt like I was watching a horror movie.
Wow.
But I, like from the beginning, there's just this like overwhelming sense of dread because like their son goes off on a horse and the horse comes back by itself.
Oh.
There's just the way the water sounds when she turns it on, like the noise it makes, like just everything that happens. It creates a sense of dread, and I don't know, it's so well made. Like you need to see it.
I liked it
Sounds
because it doesn't like spoon feed you exposition.
Yeah.
Like on the sun died, it doesn't show you like, by the way, the son died. Like it like he said, it shows the horse and then it shows him on the ground, but it never like specifically says like, by the way, the son died. Like,
And I don't think that's a spoiler because that's the plot of the movie.
that's
It happens
the plot
in the
of
first
the movie.
minute.
Yeah, it happens within the first 20 minutes. But anyway, that's how it is through the whole movie. Like nothing is like, by the way, this is what's happening. You kind of have to read a little bit, which is refreshing sometimes.
Number 9.
Number 9, I went with documentary actually, Boys State.
It's a good one too.
It's a good one. So it's about it's in Texas, and it's about like student government, and it's about I guess there's 2 main characters. It's kind of hard to say, but it's about basically these 2 guys who are competing, and it very much applies today because one of them like tells people what they want to hear and stuff, and the other one's just wants to be a good leader and stuff. And I'm not going to spoil it about who wins, but it's very much a mirror of politics today. It's very fun, kind of silly, but
Is it actually about like Boys State.
Did you go to Boys
like
State?
that. No, I didn't.
So it's like the Texas version of Boys State. It takes
Okay.
place in Austin. It is 100% a commentary on hypermasculinity and the state of America today. But it doesn't have to edit it in a sort of way. It just has all of these guys together and just lets them be themselves.
Yeah.
And like the way they were raised and their zip code and the color of their skin, how it compares to somebody else's skin color and how they care about the others. Like it comments on ambition and like generous like empathy. And it's pretty incredible documentary. It's on Apple TV Plus. It's hard to watch and fantastic to watch.
I promise you will start it and be like, why would anyone watch this? And by the end, you're like, oh my God, please win.
Are you
I
just
want him
talking
to win
about-
so bad.
Talking about because it's on Apple TV Plus, and anyone would just be like, "Oh my God, why am I on this?"
Why
that
am
what
I
you
on
mean?
Apple TV?
Yeah.
Did I hit the wrong button when I meant to hit
Yeah.
Netflix?
My number 9 is Happiest Season. Did you see it?
Yes.
I love this movie so much. I
I
love
did too.
rom-coms. I love Christmas movies, especially if they're done well. But this one is so good, and it's not your normal rom-com.
It's not your normal Christmas movie
No,
either.
no.
Yeah,
It's not.
it's good.
It
is
is.
so good.
Oh, you saw this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
sent him a
saw it.
list of ones he needed to see.
Yeah. And it was so unexpected of how like good and well written and just quality it was, because you don't expect that in that type of Christmassy rom-com type thing.
Yeah.
But it was so well done, so well written, well paced, well thought out. It was just really good, unexpectedly good. Because I was already expecting at least a little bit with who was in it, you know. I was thinking, okay, this is probably going to be a little bit better than
Right.
what I would normally expect from this. But it surpassed even that expectation. It was really good.
Yeah.
I liked it a lot.
Kristen Stewart is fantastic.
Oh, she's
Mackenzie
amazing.
Davis is great. So I think it
Aubrey
adds a
Plaza was
lot.
great.
So it's about like this girl who tries to bring her girlfriend home with her for the holidays, but come to find out she's not out of the closet with her parents, so they have to act like they're not a couple and just roommates. But I think it adds a lot to it because of the casting with Kristen Stewart not being straight, with the director and writer not being straight. I think it adds a lot more depth than a normal rom-com. Like there's been a couple that have come out, like Alex Strangelove on Netflix and some like that have been like fine, and like it's good that we're starting to have these. Like Love, Simon was really good, but I think this is a step in a better direction.
Yeah.
Yeah. The cast is great, but I'll tell you who stood out to me, which is surprising in a cast like that. Dan Levy was so good in
I
this.
love
Yeah.
Dan Levy.
Yeah, he was.
I don't want to spoil it, but his like big emotional scene, you know what I'm talking about, towards the end, I was like, man, this guy has acting chops. Like, wow, that was great.
But then again, that's coming from a place of like something true.
True, yes. But even still, after that, I remember thinking, I want to see him as a lead. Like,
Yeah.
that was great.
Watch Schitt's Creek.
I need to watch Schitt's
God.
Creek.
I love it.
But yeah, that was, like I said, that movie was great.
So Aubrey Plaza, if you're not in love with her already, you will be even more so after this. I can't stop talking about how good she is. She's just so, like, she had such a commanding presence, like without saying anything in this. I don't know. But my favorite in this is Mary Holland. She is the middle sister. She was a co-writer on this.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
She had such unique delivery. But
It was excellent. Though.
Yeah.
It was so good. Her timing too was just amazing.
Yeah.
She was really great.
It did make me sad how much I related to that character. Like, everyone's talking about everyone else. And I'm like, hey guys, I'm alive too, just so everybody knows.
Well, I think this is one of those few rom-coms where the main character doesn't end up with who they should. And that's all I'm going to say. But anyways, you're number 8.
Number 8, An American Pickle. I like this movie a lot.
I was thinking about watching it and never did
It's not
because
bad.
it was just a little too over the top just based on the trailer, and I was like,
It really,
there's other
it was
stuff to
really
watch.
pretty
was-
calm.
Well, and
Really
honestly,
pretty
I
tame.
did not have. I wouldn't say I had bad expectations. I was indifferent. I had nothing. And maybe that's why I liked it so much. But it was really good. So it's Seth Rogen, and he plays This guy from 100 years ago falls in a vat of pickles and gets burned.
Yep.
And then wakes
As
up
you
100
do.
years later and is the same age as his, what is it, great-grandson?
Great grandson. I don't know. It's 100
Anyway,
years.
It's 100 years, so whatever it is. Who's also played by Seth Rogen. I don't know. I liked it. It was cool. You'd see he's literally a man out of time, and so like, you know, he's a little bit racist, and a little bit sexist, but you also so it's weird because the movie will make you go from like, oh my god, I can't believe he said that, to then like a scene later, and you're like, I love this guy. He's great.
Well, he's learning. Like,
He's learning, yeah.
you don't love him because of his racism and sexism.
No,
you
no,
love
no,
him
no,
because
no,
he's
no, no,
realizing
no.
that he's wrong.
Right. But he's like very down to earth, which is nice. Anyway, it's worth a watch. I enjoyed it quite a bit.
I think it's a great short, but it's too long. I mean, I think it's good. I think it's well done. I love Seth Rogen, and I think that's why I liked it more than I would if it was someone else. Because he's so fun to watch and he's a good person. But I think, like, I enjoyed it. I wasn't mad that I watched it.
It is a little long. It's 90 minutes, so it's a little.
But that's not long. It just feels long, I guess. But
yeah.
It almost feels like it would be an SNL skit or
Yeah.
something stretched into a movie form,
Right.
just based off of the premise alone.
it has a lot more heart than you would expect it. You would
That's it.
expect it to be like a stoner comedy, and it's really not.
There are some like really emotional moments in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
That maybe that's why is because I wasn't expecting it to. But there are some moments that it kind of makes you feel something. I mean, they're good.
Yeah. My number 8 was St. Francis, tiny little indie movie. Saw it at Rodeo Cinema. I saw it by myself. I can't even remember how long ago this was. Writer, director, star star Kelly O'Sullivan, directed by Alex Thompson. It is this woman who becomes pregnant after a one-night stand, doesn't know exactly what she's going to do with it, has never wanted kids, but then she starts babysitting this young girl. Sounds like I'm going into a like anti-abortion movie, but it's not that at all.
A little bit, yeah.
It's so much more than that. It's a woman faced with a choice that every woman has to make, and she's just weighing her options. She's not totally against having a kid, but she doesn't necessarily want ones. She makes her decision, and it doesn't treat it with any like negativity or anything like that. It just, I don't know. It's really good. I don't want to describe too much. She's a freaking star, and you need to see it.
I feel like this is a very thin line that they would have to walk and thread in order for it to come out properly and well, you know? And it sounds like they did do that.
And it the way I'm describing it sounds like a thin line. It doesn't walk a thin line at all in the movie. I don't think. What's your number 7?
Number 7, I picked Spontaneous.
This one's great.
I didn't see it.
So it's about this high school girl played by
Catherine Langford.
Catherine Langford. Yep. And her and her classmates start exploding.
Okay.
Yeah.
Spontaneously combusting.
Spontaneously combusting. I don't know. It's like a weird mix of terrible, horrible scenes mixed with like a really relatable, quirky like love affair. I don't know. It's very fun. I don't want to give too much away because I don't want to ruin the ending, but yeah, it's great.
It's also very dark and deals with
Very.
heavy themes. It's not just a straight up comedy. I cried in it. Was not expecting to cry in a movie like this. Fucking hilarious. And it's really underseen. I think it was like a $3 rental on Amazon.
Okay, so just to be clear, we're talking about like Knives Out exploding type situation.
Like, so when it starts out, she's in a classroom.
He hasn't seen Knives Out.
I haven't seen it.
Oh,
But I also don't know what you're talking about.
She's sitting in a classroom and you literally hear a
Oh
pop.
no, not Knives Out. Or was it? Was it the one with Jamie Lee Curtis?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Never mind. Because Logan's here, but
Yeah, don't spoil it. But
No,
there's like a curse and yeah. Oh no, was that the one? with
Ready or
Titans?
Not.
Yeah, that's what
Yes.
it was. That's what. Ready
Yes.
or Not.
Yes, that kind of exploding.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
and they don't show, it's not one of those where it's like, that's a back part, like every now and then and be like, oh my God, someone exploded. Like, it shows it.
And it's
a lot.
terrifying.
And it's every time your heart breaks a little bit.
But it's a rom-com.
But it's a rom-com and it's This is an emotional roller coaster. The whole movie you're so tense because you're like, are they gonna explode? Like literally, are they gonna explode through the whole movie?
And it's a movie where they pull the rug out from under you because like it's just like at first you're just like enjoying their back and forth. They meet and it's cute and they're fun, and then it does get like you start to feel it with them. Like, okay, this isn't funny. This isn't a one-time thing. Like this is terrifying, and I could die at any moment. Like, how do I want to live my life? And I think it works really well.
Wild.
My number 7 is Driveways, which I might be the only person in the world that's seen, which is upsetting. It is incredible. It was my number 1 for most of the year. It is this tiny little movie. This woman played by Hong Chow, her sister dies. She takes her young son, who she's raising alone, to go pack up her sister's house. Next door, Brian Dennehy, who passed away past year. Just his final movie. He is, and I think he's either Korean War vet or a Vietnam vet, lives next door. Those two, like them being of Asian descent and him being somebody who fought overseas against them, could have some negative connotations associated with it, and they could hate each other, but that's not what this movie is about. It is mostly about a friendship between the old man and the little boy, and like how the mother reacts to it. And there's so much going on. It does not explain anything for you. It doesn't spell it out. It's a beautiful little film, and it is the film that Brian Dennehy deserved because he plays a lot of aggro cops and stuff, and like all these bit parts. But this is so good, and it's criminally underseen.
Yeah, I haven't even heard of it.
I have not even heard of it. Yeah, I didn't realize Brian Dennehy had passed away. I just said, and I'm definitely gonna have to see it.
Your number 6?
Number 6, Run.
Have you seen this one?
It's got don't tell me. Hold on, let me scroll down. Sarah Paulson and Kira Allen. They're play a mother-daughter duo. And she's in a wheelchair. She has asthma.
I did see this.
It's on Hulu.
Yep, I did see this.
I don't want to spoil anything.
Spoil it.
I don't want to spoil anything.
Yeah.
But basically, you find out the mom's not quite as honest as you think. It's definitely kind of a by the numbers movie. I mean, there's no crazy twists, but it's so fun. The movie is so fun to watch. It keeps you locked in from minute 10 all the way to the end.
It is very intense too. It is very intense. Like you're really in it, and it's really good. It's hard to talk about without like just ruining it completely. But there were a few things I didn't like about it, especially towards the end, because I feel like the messaging of the movie was super awesome and consistent all the way up until like the very end when that shift started to happen. And after that, I was like, well, okay, I don't like this as much, but it was still really good. But that last portion of it, just the third act alone of that shift from that she has, I did not like that nearly as much. I would have liked it more if that shift did not happen and she stayed as, as she was.
I think we talked about this. I think there's
Maybe.
like a physical transition type thing that you're talking about.
Yes.
So I don't agree with you. I don't know. I think it was fine. I'm curious as to how that happened. Backtracking a little bit, Sarah Paulson knows exactly what movie she's in, and she's having so much fun.
Oh, yeah.
Kira Allen, is that her name? It's her first movie. She is actually in a wheelchair, and so I thought that was some pretty good casting, and I think that's good for inclusivity and stuff for disabled people. And this is made by the people who did Searching. Did you see that with John Cho?
I don't think so.
That's another movie that people need to see. But I had a lot of fun with this movie. It's very campy, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was really good. And Sarah Paulson, of course, is just amazing, like all of the time. So her being in it alone is why I wanted to watch it in the first place, because I love her.
I won't spoil it, but there's one scene, and I know you guys know what I'm talking about, where something is discovered, and the shift Sarah Paulson does literally gave me chills. Like I literally went from like, oh, she's to like, I'm terrified of this woman.
Exactly. It is terrifying.
It's not really a spoiler because you know the movie, but that literally was like, oh my god, that was amazing. And she doesn't do anything. Like literally, she doesn't move.
Yeah.
And her face changes, and it was It was insane. It was so good.
American Horror Story prepared her for this role.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
Honestly, that's why it's so high up on my list. Is that one part? Because I was
Yeah.
like, wow, that was amazing.
That was your number 6.
That was my number 6.
My number 6 is in your top 5, right?
What is your number 6? No, it's not.
No, it's not. What the hell is your top 5? Okay,
You're gonna hate it. You're
I'm
gonna hate my
so
top 5.
mad. I'm so blown away. Okay, my number 6 is The Invisible Man, which was my favorite movie of the year until the last month, because I've seen so many good movies recently. I saw the trailer for this. I thought it looked okay. I love Elizabeth Moss. Lee Winnell is hit or miss for me. I like Upgrade. I liked the first Saw that he wrote. I liked him in Saw. He wasn't the best actor, but it was fun to watch. Have you seen Saw?
Mm-hmm.
He was one of the people that were trapped in the room with the dead body. So
Yeah.
it's Carrie Ewells and then him.
Yeah.
Or Elvis, or however the hell you say his name. This movie is terrifying. The opening scene in the movie is my favorite scene of the entire year. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
You haven't seen this yet.
I have not.
So it's her. This isn't a spoiler.
Yeah,
it's
fine.
her escaping from a relationship
Mhm.
and like trying to sneak out of an abusive relationship, sneak out of the house. It's beautiful. Like this house is like, I want it. I like it more than the house in Parasite. Like it was so incredible. This movie is terrifying. The way that Lee Winnell frames everything, like the question is answered whether the Invisible Man or not is real. But for a long time before that question is answered, he leaves room in the frame.
Mm-hmm.
Like it could be there, and it's so terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
In the trailer, there was a lot of stuff that was goofy, I thought, that's not in the movie, except for one scene. But I'm not going to talk about it. But it's so good. It's the best horror movie of the year by far. Elizabeth Moss is so fucking good. Like I just want to give her every part, and like everybody else can just retire.
Yeah, it was really good, and that opening scene, I agree, is amazing. It was so good. It like sets the tone extremely well. You know exactly what to expect from the rest of this movie just based on this opening scene alone. It sets the tone so well. It's super like vibey too. It's really atmospheric. It really gets you in, and it's great. That opening scene, and it's also just terrifying too.
Yeah.
You like feel scared and worried like from that scene alone in the very beginning. From then on, you feel it throughout the entire thing. It's great.
And this Disney is how you remake a classic. Because you add stuff to it. You don't just make the same fucking movie. Like there's like, yes, the old one is like The Invisible Man. It's scary. This has that, except for it's not about that. Right?
It's honestly not The Invisible Man.
Right.
Like it's not the original story at all. I loved this.
Yeah.
But it is in no way the original Invisible Man.
It is
It's
about
not
the
even
mental
close.
ramifications of an abusive relationship.
Yeah.
Personified.
So it's good.
It's
but
good.
is it like The Mummy good?
The Mummy good.
I love The Mummy. So
No, the one with Tom Cruise.
Oh no.
No, the
Oh.
Mummies. I loved those.
Oh
movies.
god.
I'm talking about the one with Tom
I
Cruise.
forgot that was a movie. Thanks a lot for that. Okay. Number 5.
All
Let's
right.
start with Chris.
Yeah.
Okay,
Chris.
let me get mine here. Okay, my number 5 was Wander Darkly. I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
I did not expect to like it as much as I do, because I'm not typically into these like emotional romance. You know, it's just like a dramatic romance,
It's my favorite.
I'm not into that. I think
Yeah.
it's a little bit boring, that genre. It's
Yeah.
done a lot. So I kind of just don't really care about it, because normally the characters aren't super good. But that was not the case at all in this. The characters were amazing. The performances were amazing.
Absolutely.
The story going throughout was like super confusing, but in a good way. It was enough to keep you intrigued and trying to figure out what's going on. And you really don't know what's going on for the whole thing, but you're trying to figure it out as it goes, and it's giving you little hints and bringing you along. It's just great. It makes you really think about what's happening in the movie itself while you're in it, and it's great. And Diego Luna, I love him in this too. I think this is one of the best performances I've seen from him.
It's my favorite.
I
of his.
like him a lot in this. I think he is fantastic. But I don't think there was a single performance in this that I was like, oh, that was just kind of okay.
Yeah.
I feel like everyone was really great in this.
I think I think Diego Luna took a backseat to Sienna Miller.
Well, yeah, he did.
I think
Definitely did.
I've
yeah.
never she's always been good, but like she should win the Oscar this year. Like there should be no conversation about it. But like she's not going to get nominated. She might get an Indie Spirit nomination, maybe. But like she's phenomenal in this.
Yeah, she is.
You need to see this movie. It's very surreal. I know you don't like surreal movies. I don't typically like surreal movies. It's unique and it's very ambitious and it takes a lot of creative direction that I don't always agree with. And there's some interesting parts that I wouldn't have chosen myself, but you have to award ambition and like somebody going for it. And this movie goes for it, and they're incredible together. They both need way more parts than this, like, and it needs to be seen also.
Yep.
All right, are we number 5?
Mm-hmm.
My number 5, Trial of Chicago 7. It's Aaron Sorkin, so I love Aaron Sorkin. It is definitely a Sorkin movie, very dialogue.
Absolutely. Yes.
But just like most of his stuff, it doesn't feel bogged down. You feel like he's such a good writer. Everything just, the way his mind is just amazing. Like everything just flows so well. So it's about the, the protest at the 68 Democratic National Convention. 7 guys get taken into custody, and from the start, they're clearly being like railroaded to be made examples of. Sacha Baron Cohen, Eddie Redmayne, great. Yahya Abdul-Mateen. I haven't seen him in much.
Watchmen.
He's in Watchmen and he's good. He's so good in this.
Yeah.
He plays a Black Panther. I should know who he plays. I don't remember the name. I'm sorry. It takes place mostly in the courtroom, which can feel bogged a little bit.
Which happens a lot with Sorkin.
Which happens a lot with Sorkin. It's so good. Like I said, the dialogue is amazing. It kind of reminds me of like Spotlight, where the story sounds boring, but when you're watching it, you don't feel like you're watching this boring.
No, you're at the edge of your seat for 2.5 hours.
Yeah, it's over 2.5 hours, and it's great.
And it does not feel like that.
And it is incredibly relevant.
Yeah.
I saw this movie
so-
before last week, so I'm
Yeah.
interested to see what you think.
So yeah, I didn't see this until after the right-wing terrorist attack on the Capitol.
Yeah.
Protest.
So yeah, it was definitely a weird experience, and it didn't feel quite so like you would think it's boring because I saw it after that. I started it and was immediately like, oh shit, this is
Yeah.
this is going to be weird. It really put a lot of things in perspective outside the movie, about what these people were protesting for and fighting for, and the difference in what we saw at the Capitol. So that was interesting, but it was definitely giving me a different perspective on these people and what they were doing to actually cause these things to happen in Chicago too. But it was really good. The writing was amazing, as you would expect it to be. I like calling it breezy also doesn't even do it justice.
Yeah.
It feels like the easiest possible marathon sprint. Like you we're just at the end before you know it. Super interesting. The performances are super great. I loved Sacha Baron Cohen in this.
Really?
Yeah, I thought he was unexpectedly good because I don't like him. I'm not a fan of him at all. But I thought he was really good in this. Liked him a lot. Overall, just really, really good. Because this is one of my top 5 also.
Sacha Baron Cohen was cast in this movie 10 years ago.
Was he? Wow.
Trial of Chicago 7 was written, I think, in 2007. Aaron Sorkin wrote it, and you can see how fucking relevant it is today.
Yeah, seriously.
Sacha Baron Cohen is too old to play the part that he played, but he did it so well.
It worked.
I think the standout for me is Mark Rylance as the main attorney.
Oh, yeah.
He is incredible. Like he's won an Oscar already, but he's my favorite supporting actor this year for that. I think Frank Langella as a judge, I see a lot of him in a lot of people today who just refuse to believe the truth and what's actually going on and are just so self-involved in what they believe in the falsehoods that they believe that they want to project them on people and keep others from living their life. It's fucked up and it's wrong, and I wish that he never mind. That's going to be too rude.
So anyway, Joseph Gordon-Levitt though in it, Joseph Gordon-Levitt in it was also awesome. I thought he was great. I wasn't expecting a whole lot from him because I didn't think he was going to be in it as much as he was because he was only like the prosecutor, you know,
Right.
and that's it. So I was thinking, oh, he's not going to be here a lot.
Oh, I meant defense
But he
attorney
was-
for Mark Rylance.
Yeah, but yeah, he was awesome. I really liked him too. I thought he was really good, very well acted. His delivery was super great, and I definitely believed him. It wasn't like normally you see him in movies and it's kind of like, yeah, this is Joseph Gordon-Levitt
Yeah.
as Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and that was not at all the case in this. He was fantastic. I liked him a lot. He was really good.
I think Sorkin takes a lot of liberties in his storytelling, and I think he does so in this as well. And I think there's a lot of tropes that he leans into, especially like the swelling happiness of the music towards the end and like all that stuff. But these tropes were made by Sorkin himself, so I feel like he has the right to use them. I think it worked. I think there's a really good chance of winning Best Picture, especially because of what happened last week. I think it's going to add a lot more to it and to its campaign. But I'm interested to see what happens with that.
It suddenly became extremely relevant.
Yeah, more so.
Yeah.
It made me sad how relevant it was.
Yeah.
Like, this happened.
And we saw it before.
You know,
Yeah.
50 years ago? And I'm like, why is this still so relevant?
I'd say watch it again.
If
with-
anything,
Yeah.
more
Yeah.
relevant.
Yeah,
I'm
watch it
gonna look
again.
for it.
Because it's way more relevant now. I think it's definitely worth the watch now.
Okay, my number 5 is Minari. A little biased as the first film I worked on out of college. But it's like I was a casting assistant, so I didn't get to I read the script and I'm like I knew it was something special when I read the script. But it's even more than that. Did you see it? You saw it with me.
I did see it.
It's incredible. It's this story about the American dream told mostly in Korean. This family moves to Arkansas to work at a chicken sexing farm, and it's basically just their story and their way of life. The performances are incredible. I cried multiple times in this movie, and it's not like a depressing movie. It's just moving, and it is what Hillbilly Elegy should have been. Hillbilly Elegy is the American dream for people who already have it. And this is what the American dream was supposed to be about. People coming from other places as immigrants into our country to live in what's supposed to be the best country in the world. That is not anymore. But I don't know. It's incredible. I think the hardest thing for me is that a lot of people are getting praised. The writing, the directing, and like the person who plays a grandma, like she's getting a lot of Oscar buzz. But my favorite is the wife. I don't know what her name is. God, she's so freaking good though. Isn't Han
she
Yuri.
off the boat? Isn't she in that?
No. Nope. But she is incredible. There's just a quiet, strong presence about her that you don't see in a lot of people. But anyways, it comes out I think in February. But everybody needs to see it. It's so fucking good.
It's fine.
Shut up.
No, it is very good. It is very, very good.
I think it has my favorite score of the year also.
The score is probably my favorite part of the movie because it doesn't hold your hand.
Like a movie like Joker.
Yeah, where it's like, hey, here's how you're supposed to be feeling, by the way. Okay, Chris, number 4.
Okay, for my number 4, this one is controversial, I guess I'll say, for this room. And I do feel a little bit bad about including this one, but I genuinely liked this movie a lot. It wasn't super good, but I liked it a lot. And it definitely was one of my favorites of the year, but it wasn't super good. And it was the Hansel and Gretel movie.
Oh, I so thought you were going with the Blumhouse movie.
Oh, no. I did like that movie a lot. That is not... My Valentine is not in my top 5. Although I did like that movie a lot.
I'm
But,
so afraid.
but yeah, Hansel and Gretel, unexpectedly awesome. I know it wasn't super good.
I didn't hate it.
Yeah, the cinematography was really good. Like shot composition was amazing. Like color composition was amazing. The music was weird and atmospheric and cool.
Yeah.
The performances were awesome, and then the
And
turn
unsettling.
it takes. What?
Unsettling.
Yeah, and the turn it takes in the second half too, where it just goes full on bonkers. Like, yeah, it's witches, you know. I love that. I love when movies commit to the actual paranormal. And I think The Witch did that really well.
Yeah.
Too many movies chicken out in the last half. They're like, oh, it's not actually paranormal. It was abuse or something, you know. And it's actually paranormal. It's actually this, and I love that. That
And
is
it goes
that is
for
what
it.
I want. Yeah, it does, and I think it really nails it. It's
Yeah.
awesome. I like this movie a lot.
I think it was one of the few movies that we saw in theaters this year.
It was.
Yeah.
It was. Yeah.
It has an incredibly vivid sense of place and knows exactly what it is. There, like I mentioned it and Let Him Go, but this has an intense like dread the entire time. The music is like droning the entire time, and it just you feel disgusting. Like the witch, like in Hansel and Gretel, like I feel her when she touches somebody because like the way they shoot it, it's so contextualized that I don't know. I'm terrified the whole time. I didn't love the movie. I thought I've seen it a million times before, but the way it was shot and the way they told it was a little bit different, and so I appreciated that about it.
It was different, and also I have to mention the set design was fantastic. The set design was so good. I loved that about it too.
I forgot all about that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Your number 4?
My number 4, Freaky.
I like this movie. Did you see it?
Nope, I didn't see this one. After the description of it, I was like, nope, not gonna do it.
It's Vince Vaughn and
Ugh.
Catherine Newton. So I've liked Catherine Newton way back when she was in Supernatural, and I was like, wow, this girl is great, and she's
pretty
just
awesome.
getting more and more and more stuff. So very not original. He's a killer. Vince Vaughn's a killer. He uses a magical dagger to stab her and switch bodies with her.
As you do.
It definitely could have been very exactly what you think it is, but I feel like it was very fun. Like it was very fun. Like I said, it's funny, it's fun. It's gorier than I thought it was gonna be.
It is
shows
rated R.
gore.
Yeah.
Not that it's gory, but for a movie like this, I was expecting like, oh my god, I got a cut or whatever, and it like shows people's heads get chopped off and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great. I liked it a lot. It was really fun.
So this is written and directed by Christopher Landon, who did Happy Death Day, Happy Death Day to You. So he takes a lot of these like multiple genres and mixes them together, and I love it. Like Happy Death Day and Happy Death Day to You are better movies than this. But this one is a lot of fun, and it knows what it is. I think I do not like Vince Vaughn as a person. I think we don't agree on a lot of things, but he has a lot of fun in this. There was a scene towards the climax of the movie that he shares with one of the teenage boys, and I think another comedian would have gone for it, and it would have been hilarious, and Vince Vaughn didn't, and he kind of like he just pussed out, and it was like really disappointing, and it speaks to who he is as a person. But I don't know, he really embodies like the teenage girl. Like it's not as good as Jack Black in Jumanji,
yeah.
but like it's like the great value version, and it's a lot of fun. I think Catherine Newton was good. I wish she had a little bit more to do than just scowl the whole time, but that's not her fault. It's the writing. But I think it is a lot of fun, and like it was the first movie I saw in theaters in a long time. So it was nice to see that again. My number 4 was also my number 1 for a long time. It's Nomadland. This is another one that we saw at a film festival. Chloe Zhao directed this. She might be one of the best, if not the best, working director today. She only made The Rider before this. She typically uses like a lot of non-actors, and as an actor, I kind of hate that, but she uses them so well, and like a lot of times directors will use them and it doesn't add anything, but the way that she just follows her characters and like just commits to them. Like I just think it works. Everything she does is a character driven story. You spend the whole movie with Frances McDormand, who is always incredible, who plays Fern. She lost her husband a few years ago. The plant shut down in her town, so basically the town shuts down, and she just adapts this nomadic lifestyle, and we just follow her. And she's such a powerful performer that like not a lot is happening, but a lot is happening, and she doesn't really react a lot to things. Like it's all in her eyes. There's a scene where she goes to a restaurant or something, and she says something that it's not even snarky, but the way she says it, like it's so much more than her character has done before that I was like, oh God. And there like is a part where something breaks of value, and to us it would mean nothing. Like who cares if that broke? But you know how much she cares about this and what it meant, and it's heartbreaking. And so this is the best shot movie of the year. It's incredible. I don't understand Chloe Zhao. Like I don't feel like she's supernatural, because I feel like I'm not watching a movie. I feel like I'm watching somebody's life, and those are my favorite types of movies. She needs to win Best Director, Best Cinematographer, Best Writer, like all this stuff. But everybody needs to see this movie. I love it. You saw it.
It was good. I liked it.
That's it.
I liked Frances McDormand.
You can stop talking.
She did real good.
What's your number 3?
My number 3 is Soul.
Okay.
I liked it a lot. I am not typically into like these Disney animated movies, especially now with it all being like CGI and computer style animation. I'm not a fan of that. But this was amazing. This is like not a kid-friendly movie at all. This was very much like for adults. It was really dark. It was weird. It was trippy. It was like it gave me an existential crisis. I mean, it was amazing though. The music was fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely.
The voice work was really good. I didn't realize that it was Tina Fey as the little soul until like way too long in. I think it was the joke about the middle-aged woman, the voice for the soul, that I was like, oh my God, that's fucking Tina Fey. Like that, it was so good. But yeah, the music I'd say is the standout part of it. It was extremely well done. It was just honestly really good jazz too.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
It was really good. Did not expect it to be like of that level of quality at all, because I don't really expect that from Disney at all anymore.
I expect it from Pixar though.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. That's a good point. It is Pixar and not Disney. But still, I wasn't expecting much, and it ended up being one of my favorite of the year. It was really, really good. I liked it a lot.
I think I had the opposite reaction. I liked it. I think it's a good movie. I don't think it's great. I heard so much hype around it, like one of the best movies of the year on like Roger Ebert's website, and just a bunch of stuff like that. And like, it's really good, but like the first 2/3 of the movie, I was just like, really? Like, I mean, I like the music, but I'm like, this is just like a normal, like, it's just In and Out again, or Inside Out again, whatever the hell it was called. And like, I thought it was fine and it was good. And then the last third of the movie, it takes a turn, and then I'm like, fuck. Like, it was hurting. And I was super into it. I was about to start bawling at the end of the movie, and then it kind of chickens out on how it should have ended, and it fumbles the ending, and that lost a lot of respect for me. I think I still gave it like an 84. Like, it's a good movie.
Yeah.
But it could have been perfect, and I think that they fumbled the ending, and I was really disappointed in that.
I feel like the ending was, because it was
It's a
still
kids'
in
movie.
the end. Exactly.
Yeah.
In the end, it was targeted as a kids movie. So they needed it to end that way, because it really looked like it was building up, like the language it was speaking up to that point looked like that's where it was going to go. And it looked like this is how this movie is going to play out. And it really did seem like at the end they got there and it was like, maybe we shouldn't do that.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
like this message needs to be said this way.
Yeah.
This still is a kids movie, you know. So I do agree with that, but I liked it a lot. And I think probably what's ranking it higher for me is being so like unexpected in how good it was, because I wasn't expecting much at all. But yeah, I ended up liking it a lot.
We actually saw it last night.
Yeah. Well, and I think maybe I was expecting too much because Facebook and you and everyone has been saying like, oh my God, the emotional payoff is great. And it felt like it felt flat at the end. Like it felt like it's fine. Like it was good. I mean, the ending is exactly what you think, but
It's no Coco.
yeah, like I
That's
said,
true.
there's been like Coco and stuff like that where I'm like, wow, this is a kid's movie, and I felt something. Like I'm moved by this movie, and this was not one of them for me. It's solid though. I give it
Yeah.
an 80. It's solid. It's really well shot. The casting is good. I think everyone fits. Like their voices fit their character, and like you said, the music is great. I mean, it's nice to hear like jazz instead of like happy techno music.
Pop, like the Trolls movie.
Yeah,
or...
for like Pixar and stuff. But yeah, like I said, to me the story kind of fell flat in the end.
I compare every Pixar movie to Coco. That's my favorite by far. And I remember
That's a
we
really
watched
good
it in
one.
theaters, and like at the end, I was ugly crying. And I look over to look at us,
Everyone was.
like
We-
that movie fucked me
yeah.
up, and all these kids are like looking at me like I'm crazy.
Yeah, I don't think any adult got out of Coco but not crying. Like,
Ugh.
Yeah, that
Good
movie
Lord.
was a masterpiece to me.
Yeah.
That was great.
Number 3 or 4? 3.
3.
So I went with Love and Monsters for number 3.
I love this movie.
That's a great movie. Dylan O'Brien and Jessica
Excuse me.
Henwick. Have you seen this?
No.
So Dylan O'Brien it's post-apocalyptic. Not really a spoiler. There's like an asteroid, so they shoot rockets at it, and they blow up the asteroid, and then that radiation rains back down on Earth and mutates like bugs and snakes, and so humanity. It says at the beginning, 95% of humanity gets wiped out within a year. So now humanity lives in bunkers, and Dylan O'Brien's character talks to his girlfriend from before. She lives in a bunker 50 miles away, and he decides he's gonna go out and he's gonna go find her. It's fun. It's serious. It's gruesome sometimes.
So she called and said her parents were gone, so he ran through
She
the
said, "Hey, my parents are out," and he was
They're
like,
really out.
"I'll be there in 5." Yeah, they're
They're out in the first
they're
couple
about
minutes.
as far out as you can be. They're out.
He ventures into the post-apocalyptic wasteland. Sounds like Fallout the movie.
It has that vibe to it. It could just have been some dumb like YA remake or something like some Twilight movie, which I like the first Twilight, but we won't talk about that.
Yeah, please don't.
But it's so good. Dylan O'Brien is charismatic as fuck, and so he can carry anything, and I will watch him, and I have ever since he was Styles in Teen Wolf. But it's so good. Like it's got so much heart. It's funny, and it doesn't play out the way you think it's going to, and I appreciate that.
I really liked. He's not in it very much. I don't know why I liked him so much, but Michael Rooker's in it, and you know who it is? Yondu from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh.
Yeah.
He plays. So spoiler: while he's out, he meets a father. He meets two people: an older guy and a younger girl. And this guy's kind of like his teacher, teaches him some stuff. Anyway, he's funny. He's crass.
Very much a Yondu type character.
Very much a Yondu. Anyway, maybe I just miss Yondu, but it was.
I'm Mary Poppins.
He was my favorite part of it. Like the scenes he's in are my favorite scenes of the whole movie. He's great, and so is the little girl, and I don't remember her name.
I don't know either.
I don't know. Anyway, she was good too. She's surprisingly good for being so young. But like I said, Michael Rooker. What?
Nothing.
Kids can't act.
Yeah, Chris said something like that the other day. That's what made me laugh.
I just mean like just for being she's young, she was very good. Like
That
I
wasn't-
feel like sometimes with kids that young, you feel like they're acting at you, and she felt like she was just acting.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I think kids can't act. That's
Well,
not a joke. I don't
Quinton Wallace's Oscar nomination at 8 years old would disagree with you.
Okay, don't lump me in with him. I'm not saying that.
Kids can't act.
Anyway, so yeah, number 3, Love and Monsters. It's great. I loved it.
My number 3 is The Nest, ya bitch. This is on Logan's worst list yesterday.
I didn't even see it.
It is incredible. So it's from the director and writer that made Martha, Marcy, May, Marlene, which was about a woman who was in a sex cult and the emotional trauma of that. This is a fucking horror movie, like put into a family drama. So it is about a marriage basically crumbling before us. So this guy, he has money, but he likes to show it off and he likes to spend it. And so he talks a big game and he never quite tells, like it's Jude Law and Carrie Coon. Carrie Coon's one of the best actresses out there. Jude Law doesn't quite tell her about the money. Like he kind of shrugs it off when she asks. You know that there's problems when she has money kept in a safe away from him. He doesn't know where it's at. There's little tiny things that keep happening and keep poking and poking and poking until like this big crumbling finale. It's so fucking good. Like it like hurt. Like I don't know. I think it was incredible to watch. I was in awe the entire time. It looks great. The acting's great. There's a lot of imagery, like metaphorical imagery going on with horses and stuff like that. You need to see it. It's really good. I think this is one that you would really enjoy.
Honestly, it seems like a little too much, but I will watch it off of that recommendation.
I don't think it is too much.
I do.
I mean, and
he's thinking it's too much in a way that you're not.
Okay.
Probably, yeah.
He just thinks it's too much because it's quiet.
It's not even the quietness. I didn't like the pacing. It felt so slow sometimes.
It pays off.
I didn't think so, but whatever. We're not gonna argue. So that's was that your number 3?
Yeah.
Number
Okay.
3, the Nest.
So my number 2.
Your number 2.
Okay. Okay, my number 2 was Trial of the Chicago 7, which we already talked about. Yeah.
It was great.
Loved it.
Yeah.
Super great. Extra great after the Capitol attack. Yeah.
I did want
Love
to
it.
say though, I forgot to bring it up. What did you guys think of Michael Keaton's part in that? I thought he did
Yeah,
great.
I meant to talk about this.
He
Shit, I
was-
totally forgot.
It was
he
such a
even in
small
it.
part, but to me it
He
was
owned the fucking movie.
fucking
Yeah.
wow.
He was
Like
Yeah.
great. Yeah. Yeah.
Because
he was
it
great.
could have gone the opposite way, but he's
Yeah.
Michael Keaton is the only person that could have done that.
yeah, it was. I don't want to spoil it because you think he's gonna do one thing and he does something else. But we both were like, "What?" Like we literally screamed out, like, "What? Oh my god! I can't believe he did that!" Like,
And I knew he was in the movie, but I forgot, and I love him so much, so I'm always excited to see him.
It was such a small part, but it was really effective too. It was really well done.
It changed the movie
oh,
Yeah, good.
absolutely.
and history.
Okay, my number 2 is kind of was this out already? Or
Yep,
did we see
it's
this?
on Amazon Prime now.
It's on Amazon Prime. Sound of Metal.
We saw it at a film festival.
We saw it at a film festival. I don't know if you heard of it. Directed by Darius Martyr. Riz Ahmed and Olivia Cook are in it. It's great. I know you didn't like it quite as much as I did. I know.
It's good.
It's good though.
Yeah.
So it's about a drummer who lives, or it's him and his girlfriend. Olivia Cook plays the girlfriend. Riz Ahmed plays the drummer, and they're like in a rock band, like heavy metal rock. And during a gig one night, he loses his hearing. He ends up going to an ear doctor. That's probably not what they're called. And he finds out that he is going to lose his hearing, and so he ignores it and keeps playing, and ends up he ends up going deaf, like completely deaf. And so he ends up at this camp where they teach people who have become deaf how to like speak and stuff. There's so many great parts, like the sound is great. Like when he can't hear, you can't hear. They do little things like the first night he's there, he's sitting at the table and everyone's signing, and they don't put subtitles until he learns to sign,
It's incredible.
and then they put the
Wow.
sub. But like at first, he'll learn a little bit, and you'll get like a little bit, and then
Right.
he'll learn more, and you'll get more. Anyway,
That's awesome.
Yeah.
and so I don't know. This movie was amazing. Riz Ahmed did fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
Olivia Cook did amazing too.
Paul Raci was fantastic in this.
Was he
he's
the
the instructor.
Yeah, he's a what did you tell me? He's like a
His parents were
his
born deaf,
parents
I
were
believe.
born deaf. Yeah, he has some amazing moments where he kind of talks to Riz Ahmed. It's a great movie. Like I said, what got me was the sound. They like, you know, when he goes deaf, you go deaf, and the silence is deafening. It's crazy. I love this movie. This was almost my number 1.
The sound design is incredible. It better win the Oscar, and I swear to God, if fucking Tenet wins it, I'm gonna scream.
You know it's gonna be Tenet.
Tenet is. We're not gonna talk about that. This movie is. I don't think the movie itself is great. I think there are performances that are fantastic, and I think the sound design is incredible. I think it has a good message. Riz Ahmed is great. Paul Raci is great. I think Olivia Cooke is really good. I don't know. This movie, did you see The Theory of Everything?
Yes.
So that feels like a TV movie to me that got a lot of accolades. That's what this feels like to me. So it feels like a really good PBS special, or like something with some good performances, or like something, I don't know. I mean, it's rated R, I think, so it's going to be a little more than PBS could handle, but it's, I don't know. It's like a fine HBO movie or something like that. I think that why he likes it so much is because the performances elevate it and the sound design is so unique. I'm not taking away
Don't
from
tell
why
me
you
why I
like
like some. I have
But-
my own opinion.
it, but it's I think it's very formulaic and it follows a familiar path that we've seen hundreds and hundreds of times. But it is better than most that follow that path.
And it sounds like the stuff with the sound design would kind of make up for that anyway, you know?
It definitely adds to it, yeah, for sure.
I will say it's not shocking in any way. I'll give you that. It's not a shock. There's no twist. You don't like, wow, that was a ambitious choice. It's none of that. But like I said, I just like the sound design, and to me, it was so fresh and new in my mind.
Yeah.
The sound design like that was just so good that it just made me like it so much.
Hello. You're seeing us here in different clothes, suddenly in the middle of the video, because I fucked up.
As usual.
Bring it on. What did I do?
You fucked up because you're an idiot.
You forgot shit because you're forgetful.
I did forget shit. I forgot Shit House
At
because
least
it's my number
he's not
2.
educated in this, because it would be so embarrassing that
That'd
he
be
fucked up.
really
That would be
embarrassing.
so
If he-
mortifying if he had done
spent
that.
tens of thousands of dollars on an education.
I still owe $17,000. But okay, my number 2 film of 2020 is Shit House. It premiered. So
I thought it was pronounced Shithouse.
close. Austin. No, it was. What is the fuck? South by Southwest. South by Southwest Film Festival. It won like everything last year in March. However, it was all virtual, so it was new. I don't know. This movie totally fucking worked for me. They made it like a short over a break at school, and then they got the funding for this. And Cooper Raiff wrote and directed and stars in it. He is completely younger than me. I don't know. It just pisses me off at how good he is. But so it's about basically this college freshman is getting used to living in LA. He's far away from home, living without his family, and he falls for a girl, and it's not going to play out like your normal like love story, because you know what? She's not an archetype in a movie. She's her own person, and she's a real person. And I think
Hooray.
that's what the best thing is about this movie is it's about real people. Like, I've never felt like I was watching a movie. I felt like I was watching life, and I really, really related to him. He's
That's
not
great.
like your super like dude, or like he's emotional. He misses his mommy, and so I'm like, I mean, this is how I felt in college. I mean, I
Yeah,
wasn't super
he's
far
real.
away. Yeah, and it's really fucking good, and their chemistry is great. She has more experience than he does, but it doesn't show. Like, I don't know, this movie, it made me so happy, and it was my number 1 for until I saw Promising Young Woman. I didn't think anything was gonna pass it. I've said that a lot, I think, on this list, but I mean, I watched a lot of movies, so I don't know. I think everyone should see it. I think I bought it, so you need to watch it.
It's definitely a
need to watch it.
sleeper hit. Like, it is one that came out of nowhere. And, you know, if you want to say expectation versus how good it was, then this would be one of my top picks, just because I had I had like almost negative expectations. And it was, I don't know if I liked it quite as much as you did, but it was really good. Like you said, he's not like some bro who's at college, and like you said, there's times where he cries and he calls his mom because he misses her, and I like that it showed him as a real person, not
It seems like
like what a guy is supposed to be when he's at college.
it seems like an accurate, healthy depiction of masculinity.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, 100%.
And I think as like a wannabe like actor filmmaker, I just found it really inspiring, because it's very like pull up your bootstraps and make a movie, because I don't know what that was about. It's my Oklahoma roots showing. I used to be a cowboy, baby.
Please stop.
This is just going downhill, just further and further.
This has turned into a real shit house.
I was
Alright,
about
let's
to
stop.
make
Let's just stop.
I was about to make a downhill joke about that movie that we saw, but nobody saw it, so nobody would get the joke. I don't know. I think it's really inspiring. I think they do a lot with nothing, and I think everybody needs to watch this. I think it was like $5 to buy the movie. It's worth it, especially when you're supporting these very, very by definition independent filmmakers. It has Logan Miller in it. I think he's the most popular actor in it. He is his roommate. Like, he's a big stoner. And but he has some, like, it's not just, they don't play out the way
he's not
you
an
think they're going to.
archetype like stoner.
He almost is at first, but then
That's what I'm
they
saying.
subvert
But
it.
he has like layers, and as they get to know each other, it kind of
Yeah.
it broadens and stuff.
He's in Love, Simon. Did you see that? I love that movie. He is the douche guy, the douche drama guy in Love, Simon.
Okay, yeah.
He's also in Escape Room. If you saw that.
Maybe.
Did we see that?
Did we see that together?
I don't know. I assume if it's horror that we did.
I think we did.
Yeah.
I think we did.
I
I
think
think
so.
that was the one where it turned out. Never mind. We're talking about shit else.
I like this movie because it definitely is good just solely based on the story. Like, everyone's good in it, all that, but there's no big budget. There's not a big marketing thing. It's just good based on it's well written and it's real.
It's a simple. It's simple in so many ways, like filmmaking, storytelling, acting, but it's like character focused, and like I envy this kid so fucking much, like the way he can come up with these characters and like stay true to them the entire time. And like, they make mistakes, they do stupid things because that, you know, we do that.
That's what people do.
And I love it. I think everyone needs to watch it. It was one of the best movies of last year. My number 2. What's your number 1?
My number 1. Okay.
Ours is the same.
Yeah.
Is it the same?
Yeah.
Okay, so mine's definitely different. Are we going to get a drum roll, or how's this going to work?
Well, a quiet one because I don't want to peek.
Okay, my number
We'll add it in
1.
post.
My number
Fuck it, we'll add it in post.
We're doing it live. We'll do it live.
Okay, so anyway, my number 1 movie of 2020 was Emma, the adaptation of the Jane Austen novel. We did not.
Okay.
This was the last movie I saw before the pandemic in theaters. I fucking adored this movie. I thought it was so good. It was so funny. The cinematography was fantastic. Everything was so well shot, well performed, well written. The pacing was amazing. Like, everything about this movie, I loved it. I thought it was so good. I like can't praise it enough. Everything, like the set design, the costume design, the script, the dialogue, like everything. It was so good. And it's definitely what I think is the best Jane Austen adaptation. I think those movies are typically like in a kind of range of being like kind of like good, you know, but that's kind of it. I thought this one far exceeds what any of the other Jane Austen adaptations have been. And this is so much better than the Emma with Gwyneth Paltrow.
Yeah, I agree.
She is. I'm not going to go into that one, but Anya is way more believable as Emma. I 100% buy her as this character. She's funny. She's smart. Her dialogue is fantastic. She's quick. It's just amazing. I loved this movie. I like Jane Austen novels, and I like these movies already. But this one was such a step above any of the other ones. It is by far my favorite Jane Austen movie, and it was the movie I enjoyed most in 2020 by a long shot.
I like this movie a lot.
Yeah.
I think it's very similar to The Pros because it's off kilter and like they nail that. Like it's quirky and weird, and Anya Taylor-Joy is fantastic.
She is.
The movie's funny. Oh my God, there's a brutal part like where I gasped because she's so bitchy. Like, one thing she said
Was it
to
at
the
the
church
picnic?
lady. Yes.
Yeah.
And I love the actress that played her.
Yeah, she was amazing. That actress that played her. And
She's
that
in
character is just
Spy.
amazing too. But yeah, that part was brutal and sad and upsetting. Like, just watching it, you felt like how Emma felt in that situation. You felt it. And she was so well acted. You could see it on her face, and you knew what she felt as soon as she said that. It was so good. You felt it immediately. That moment was like, it hit really hard. It was great, and it's not what you expect to happen in a movie like this, you know.
Well, and there's moments like that in so many other movies, like in a Mean Girls type movie or something like that, where it doesn't matter. Like, who cares? Like, but it means so much more in that by the way it's set up.
Yeah,
It's
and
great.
how the character's relationship is affected by that, and how that scene moves the plot forward and serves as impetus for Emma, like changing and growing as a character. It's a great moment. I love that.
Yeah. Do you want to hold hands while we say it together?
I'm good. Yeah, before we move on, I haven't seen the movie, so I don't know, but I want to say Anya Taylor-Joy, fucking love her.
He loved the Queen's Gambit.
I love the Queen's Gambit so much.
Have you seen it?
We saw the New Mutants. And
It's on my list.
It's whatever. It's bad, but
It's not on. My
I'm
list.
glad she's starting to be in more stuff. I fucking love her. I think she's so good.
Thoroughbreds is my favorite movie of hers.
Yep, it's great. Like I said, anyway, she's definitely one of those that I feel like I don't want to say I stumbled onto her because it's not like I saw her in like something small, but I just remember thinking like, oh my god, she's great.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, then
Yeah.
she was in Queen's Gambit. Now she's in Emma, which I'll watch because she's in it. Yeah, she's great. I'm excited.
So I want you to see this next movie because I know you haven't seen it yet.
Yep.
But
So good.
by far, the number one movie of the year is...
Promising Young Woman.
It's so good.
It's so good.
so
It's
good.
literally like the last movie we saw of 2022. If not, I mean, it was one of them. It was
Yeah,
really
it was
close.
one of them.
It was one of the last 5.
It is so fucking good, though. Okay, have you seen Killing Eve?
No.
So one of the writers and directors from Killing Eve, Emerald Fennell, I don't know how to say it. This is her feature debut, and boy, does she fucking go for it. This is a rape revenge movie, and it's not like there was literally the movie Revenge that came out a couple years ago. Did you
Right.
see that?
Yep.
So that takes a more brutal reaction to it. This is pretty brutal. It's this woman, she dresses up and goes out to clubs every single night and acts like she's trash and acts like she's drunk until a nice guy comes and takes care of her.
A nice guy.
Yeah.
In quotes. Okay.
And comes and takes care of her and takes her home. And then she's very drunk. And then he makes his move on her. And she reveals that she's not drunk. And she reacts. I think this movie shows a lot of restraint with how she reacts because it doesn't always show us what happens. Carey Mulligan is fucking great in this.
So good.
She Sienna Miller's not gonna get nominated, so she better win the Oscar. It's so mean and biting and deservedly mean and biting, but it's also so much more than that. It juggles so many different genres. It is a romantic comedy with her and Bo Burnham, who is fantastic in this. So fucking good. And it is a dark comedy, and it's a family drama, and it's sad, and it's hilarious, and there's so much going on, and there's so much to unpack, and I want to watch it 100 more times. I gave this movie 100%. I think it's perfect. I wouldn't change a thing about it.
Yep. I want to see this movie really bad. As soon as I saw the trailer, I knew I was in, and I was like, I need to see this. I just have not had
It
a
comes out on
chance yet.
VOD on Friday.
The few things I had about it, obviously it's amazing. It's my number one. Was there's a scene at the very beginning. It's the first guy she does her thing to, whatever you want to call it, the trick, the revenge, whatever. She's drunk. She's on the bed. He takes her panties off, and he's doing stuff. And it zooms up, and it's above her, and all of a sudden she just gets super serious and stares right at the camera. And I just remember thinking, oh shit. And from then on, the whole movie is just like, strap in, it's coming. But it's so good. There's that. Like you said, Bo Burnham was amazing. I did not know he was that good of an actor.
Yeah, he's He's a fantastic writer-director.
Yeah.
8th Grade was great.
And this last thing, it's not like she was... we talked about this. It's not like she was amazing or her part was fine. It was
No,
just,
she was great in it.
No, not Carey Mulligan.
I know who you're talking about. Jennifer Coolidge.
Yeah, it was weird to see Jennifer Coolidge as like a frumpy kind of downtrodden mom. It was weird.
Because she's always bend and snap.
Yeah,
That's what you think of.
It took me probably halfway through the movie where I was like, "Oh my god, that's Jennifer Coolidge!" Like, you're so not used to seeing her like that.
But she's better than fine. She was great in it.
I mean, she was good. Yeah, I'm not saying she. I think it's just compared to Carey Mulligan.
Well, no one is fucking Carey Mulligan, especially after she's through with them. God, it's so fucking good. Like, so many people need to see this movie. There's so many fucking nice guys that need to see this movie. There's so many best friends that need to see this movie. I don't know. It's brutal, and it does not hold back. And there is going to be some controversy over the end. I think it's perfect, and I think it makes its fucking point. And I don't think there is a better movie that this is the best movie I've seen in since Call Me by Your Name, I think, which is 3
Well,
years.
and what I like
And that
about
means a lot.
Yeah, that means a lot. All the nice guys are like nice guys, like Adam Brody,
Yeah, it's like-
Christopher
oh,
Mintz-Plasse. Like they're all like
Wow.
nice guys.
Yeah.
I can't remember who the other one was.
It's the guy from Veep, Richard Schiff and Veep. What's his name? Is it
Is it Max?
Max Greenfield, isn't it? But
Yeah.
it's like who plays Schmidt, New Girl. But Chris, is it Chris? I don't know. He's-
Anyway,
Nope.
no. That's
Oh
not
wait,
him.
yes, he is a nice guy.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah, he's the last one. Anyway, that was cool. Like I said, like all the nice guys are like nice guys. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And then kind of like you said, this is one of those movies you're watching, and I'm like, I can think of people I want to watch this with and watch them watch this because I'm
Yeah.
like, this is gonna tell me a lot about someone.
Yeah.
Because if
absolutely.
they turn and they were like, this movie's terrible, I'd be like, maybe we shouldn't be friends anymore.
Yeah. Watch this movie.
Yeah.
I
I
don't
want to
usually
really
get
bad.
excited about these
Yeah.
movies like this, but I don't know. It's great. It's not going to win a bunch of awards. I think it's going to get nominated for some. I think it should win all of them. God, I fucking love this movie.
It seems timely as well. It's
Oh,
a good time to have a movie
Honestly,
like
we
this.
need to cut it, but I could keep going. Like, I
Yeah,
could
well,
just
so
keep talking about
she
it. It's
keeps
so
a journal of like it does a lot of showing and not telling. Also, she keeps a journal and like she'll put a tally after she's whatever with somebody,
Mm-hmm.
and they're different colors, and we don't know what that means, and that
Ooh.
is terrifying to me.
Well,
Cool.
and then, and I don't want to spoil anything. Not only does she does that revenge, she gets another type of revenge with some other people, and even that you're like, damn.
Yeah, this is
Like,
not just against
This
guys.
is not just against guys at all.
It is about people who don't speak up when they should, and the people that laugh about something in their past when they shouldn't.
Wow.
It is so fucking good.
That's awesome.
You saw the twist coming. I thought I knew what the twist was going to be, and I was completely wrong.
I only
caught me off guard by a mile. Like I did not see it coming.
I didn't see it coming the whole time. There was a clue that it gave us, and I caught on it then, and I leaned over to him, and I was like, I know what's going to happen. But I don't think most people picked up on that. That's why there's such an outcry over the end.
Yeah.
It makes me even more curious to watch it.
Yeah.
If you love rom-coms, you'll like this. If you hate rom-coms, you'll fucking love this movie.
So these are our best movies of the year. Except for what was that one I hated on your list? just kidding.
The Nest.
No.
I'm pretty sure that's what it was.
That's enough. No, I'm kidding. But thanks for watching. Bye,
Yeah.
motherfuckers. I shouldn't have said that.
Cut that in post.